creating a new age business while having kids, Mariana Duarte, and we picked, we invited Mariana to speak. I think I've lost my program. Do you have? Did someone take my program? Sorry, the bios. It's here, sorry. We invited Mariana, even though the business model is not about females or families. She herself has a family, and whether you're creating a business in the family market or a different model, you know, some of the challenges are common and some inspirations are common, and we thought Mariana would have some interesting things to say about this. Mariana has a degree in business management and worked for various media companies representing worldwide brands and running large-scale creative marketing campaigns. From 2007 to 2009, she lived in London, working for C Squared. While in London, she also set up Madame Management, a music management agency representing international artists, particularly those flowing between the UK and Portugal. Mariana scouted talent, organized tours and events, and sponsorship and branding opportunities. While in London, Mariana came across Village Underground, founded by Tom Foxcroft, and took a desk to work on Madame Management, so it's a co-working space. She fell in love with the concept and decided to work with Tom to export it to Lisbon. She worked with Carish. How do you pronounce it? Carish, no? Carish, exactly. I knew it the first time I was wrong, so Carish. The Lisbon Public Transport Company, and was leased some land in their old tram yard, as well as 2 double-decker buses. The buses, as well as 14 shipping containers and a warehouse, were converted to create Village Underground Lisboa. The containers are used as co-working spaces for creative startups. One of the buses is a cafe, and the warehouse is used for commercial hires and music events. I've been there personally, and it is pretty interesting. So I shall invite Mariana Duarte-Silva up to stage to talk about Village Underground, Lisboa.
Hi, everyone. So thank you, Shidra, for the invitation. I'm very honored to be here. I'm going to be reading, and this is the first time I speak about my family and my project. I'm very used to speak about Village, but this is the first time I include my family, so if I shake a little bit my voice, really forgive me. And I'm also waiting for my husband to arrive, and I'm a bit nervous because he's stuck in traffic, but anyways. So my name is Mariana, and I'm the co-founder of Village Underground. Village Underground exists in London already for 10 years. It's an arts center that started as a co-working space for creative industries, and it was founded by Tom Foxcroft. It opened in Lisbon 3 years ago, and I'm going to show you what we have been doing with a little video. If we can.
Village Underground Lisboa marca presença na cidade, desenvolvendo diversos projetos ligados à área criativa. Aqui nasceram programas de televisão, peças de teatro, novos negócios ligados ao fado, à arquitetura, ao design, à restauração e à moda. Por aqui passaram uma mão cheia de DJs e bandas, de exposições de fotografia, de instalações de arte. A cafeteria Village recebe cada vez mais clientes curiosos em experimentar uma refeição num autocarro. Os contentores enchem-se de artistas e projetos de vários pontos do mundo, e os residentes concretizam aqui as suas ideias. O Village Underground Lisboa está a construir uma nova comunidade criativa num espaço que melhora todos os dias, na ideia
Almost finished.
Uma comunidade criativa num espaço que melhora todos os dias, na ideia de acrescentar algo ao projeto que já existe em Londres. Queremos continuar a fazer como melhor sabemos, amando e criando.
This is Village Underground Lisboa, and I'm going to start by saying something that Tom, the founder, my business partner, told me last week. He was here in Lisbon, and we had a conversation about. I always have these feelings about thanking him for giving me the opportunity to do something so special. So I was talking to him, and he said to me, and I'm quoting him, "People are either contributors or extractors. We, Tom and I, contribute to the pot, the big communal pot of our society. We put lots into it. And on the other side, there are people with ways of working that extract from our shared social pot. And you only have to stop for a moment to realize how valuable our contribution is. Imagine a world without art, literature, film, or music. No dancing, no poetry, no places for shared, euphoric experiences. No moments of life-changing inspiration. It's not a world that anyone would want, no world to hand down to our children. And us, we are working, contributing to that better and more beautiful world." So, in 2008, I was living in London, and I had my office inside one tube carriage placed on top of a building in Shoreditch, doing PR and music management for my own company called Madame. I was 30 years old, single, and living the dream of my life. Doesn't seem so, but I was. I was working on something I loved, in a city I had fallen for, and doing exactly what I was passionate about. This place I was working in is called Village Underground and had opened recently. I had lived in London for 1 year already, and every day I passed by this weird scenario of 4 old tube carriages and thought, what the... One day a friend said that she knew the owner and there was an office space that we should rent. So we went. The minute we arrived, I got a very strange feeling that somehow that place would change my life. And it did. I spent 18 months working there. My office was as cold as being working outdoors, literally. There was no heating, and the wind and snow sometimes entered the carriage. At one point, I had to buy 2 heaters and work with gloves and a scarf. My friend left. She quit. She couldn't handle, but I kept going. I also bought my office chair from a second-hand shop and carried it with me in the bus, thinking I was moving to the coolest office space ever. I was. So in this tube carriage, while I was working putting on parties and bringing new music talent to London, I met Obi, with whom I found out how to make a digital magazine. I met the collective Secret Wars, with whom I organized street art battles between Lisbon and London. I met Colin and Punch Drunk, a theatre company with whom I discovered a game-changing form of theatre. I met and I worked with a very young man that had just arrived in London that year, Alexandre Farto, an artist you might know today as Vils, the worldwide known Portuguese street artist. And then I met Tom, the founder, the mastermind behind all of this. And I kind of like him. So one day I asked Tom, what if we make Village Underground in Lisbon? He thought for about a second and a half, and he said, yes, let's make it. And then he asked me if I had planned to have kids and a family. And I replied, yes, maybe, sometime. And then he said, well, so think again, Mariana, because this is a life project. That didn't scare me at the time, so I said, yes, let's do it. Now I would need another 2 hours to tell you about the 5 years of struggling to put the project to life. I could go on and speak about very bad moments of despair, loneliness, sadness, but I will just say that in the meantime, while I was fighting to convince people that this was great for Lisbon, I got married and had 2 babies. Now that I look back, I reckon that maybe it was actually being pregnant and having the babies that was the fuel and energy that I needed to keep going and believing in it. I was 8 months pregnant with my first child, Lucas, when I got this meeting with 3 top executives of Carris. I explained to them that I needed their yellow trams to make parties inside and office spaces. The faces they gave me, it's something I cannot describe. But they gave me, and I went out of that meeting with 3 buses and a big belly in 2010. So here I am with a big belly and 3 buses in my hand, but still no location for the project. And 2 years after, by the time I found a location, I got pregnant again. And so did my business partner, Tom. So now we have 3 buses, 1 location, 1 2-year-old baby, and another 2 on their way. We launched Village in 2014, and 1 year later, I got pregnant again of my 3rd child, Miguel. He was born a few weeks after the 2nd anniversary of Village Underground. In November last year, Tom had his 2nd baby. We are now a very big family, and we love it. So what did I do in order to conciliate everything? I turned Village into a playground where Lucas, Nuno, and Miguel would have fun while waiting for their parents to work. So today, besides being a co-work space, an event space, a cafeteria, a meeting room, Village has a skate ramp, a swing, inflatable castles, and face painting workshops regularly. On weekends, we organize big lunches for parents to bring their children and relax in our terrace while they run free and play all together. Kids also love to climb our structure, go in and out of the buses, and just run everywhere they can. Here's Nuno, and Lucas, and the playground, and the cafeteria, and Miguel, the baby. Oh. And now is the moment he was supposed to be arriving and he's not here. I'm so sad. The way I found to manage... Oh, he's here! The way I found to manage 3 kids in this project has a name, and he's seated in this room, Gustavo. And let me go back 7 years ago to proudly tell you and embarrass him a bit that I proposed to him while I was living in London, in a club while he was DJing. Again, it was a gut feeling I had that he would be the man capable of managing all this. I just didn't know everything would be so fast. So Gustavo went with me through all this difficult process of building up Village and couldn't have done it without him. He is there for me and for the boys, not just when he's needed. He is there basically all the time. There is no separation of tasks. We arrange to do it in our very own way, the best we can. Sometimes, yes, it's difficult to concentrate on playing with the boys during the week if there's work to be finished at home. And yes, there are moments of chaos, many, actually. One day I was very sad, feeling guilty about not playing enough with Lucas. And a friend told me, "Listen, Mariana, Lucas loves you. You're his mom. His only mom. He doesn't know other kinds of moms." I felt a relief. Nowadays, sometimes when he argues with me, I go like, "Lucas, you can always go to the mom's market and find another one. Replace it." But fortunately, he always replies the same thing. "You are the one I love, Mom." So, sorry. So this is my presentation, and now I just wanted to show another video to finish off this, just to cheer up a little bit. And It's a video that is so funny because while I was waiting here, a friend of mine who has 3 kids and also has her own project sent me this link, this video, and I thought this is such a coincidence. And I'm sorry, I'm going to share it now because I think it will make you laugh. And I think many moms here could relate to it because it's really something that could save us sometimes. It's a little bit of wine.
Who wants a drink? You want a drink? For you. Here you go. Here's one for you. Look, Mummy's got one.
Thank you.
Stay on stage.
Okay.
Thank you. First of all, Mariana. A hug. A Martinhal hug. You definitely deserve a hug. What an emotional and beautiful presentation. I had to start handing tissues out into the audience just now, so very emotional. We have time for questions, so can we have the mics ready and questions? Olivia.
I just want to say I really enjoyed listening to you. And I think what has been so special about today and your presentation is it's so true and it is so honest. And you're sitting here and you're listening to it and you're believing it. Every single word that you said, I hung on it. And your concept is amazing. Would you like to franchise it out to us in Ireland? That could work anywhere in the world. And yeah, really, it's not a question, it was more just a congratulations. Really enjoyed listening to you.
Thank you. But I can reply to that. No, when people ask me that, and I go back to Tom and I ask Tom, because he's the founder, and he always replies the same thing. He said, well, if there's a Mariana in Ireland, yes. Because I was the one wanted to do this. He doesn't think about going anywhere else. So it has to be the people that wants to bring Village Underground to their cities and really believe in it. So if there's a Mariana in Ireland that wants to make it, I'm sure Tom, he's 100% on it.
Yes, hi. I've been living now in Portugal for 4 years. I previously was living in London and before that in France. So what I just want to say is also a big congratulations, but maybe coming from a person who also lives here, to add more context to it, and having had my business and my husband's business also here, and we founded businesses in the UK, in France, and now in Portugal. And I know how hard it is to change mentalities here, to do something as innovative, to get people to actually believe in it. I'm actually really impressed that, you know, the second location was actually here in Portugal. Well done. I'm sure you had lots of difficulties with the mindset. I hope you met some people that were really quite international, lived abroad, because I'm sure it was quite a tough ride, and well done.
Thank you. Let me explain you just a little bit about the turning point when suddenly somehow believed in the project. So I arrived in 2009 and Portugal was in a deep financial crisis. No one would talk to me about creativity or shipping containers. So I waited 2 years knocking at doors and trying to convince people that this was great. I was literally talking to doors because no one would understand what I wanted. But then in 2011, the mayor, António Costa, which is now the prime minister, he realized that Lisbon needed to get out of the crisis, and he concentrated on helping startups. And he He created a department within the municipality with a woman heading it, Graça Fonseca. She was very, very focused on helping people. So they sent me an email and said, can we sit down and can we help you out? That was a turning point. So we signed a protocol with the mayor, and from then it was much easier for us. Yeah.
I think there was a question here. Yeah.
Well, first of all, congratulations for the project. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's not a question, it's a suggestion. I think that should have a hug, the husband, because I think that is a great support for the project.
Yes, thank you.
Come up for a hug. You can propose to her this time. How are you?
I'm very good.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Hope you've taken lots of photos. Nice to see you. So this is the famous Gustavo. Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to make a couple of comments as well. I mean, it's fantastic. I actually had the pleasure of visiting Gustavo and Mariana. Was it earlier this week?
Yeah.
My God, this week has been so hectic. It was Monday. We were trying to set an appointment with each other since we started, since we got in touch with each other about the event. But, it was so difficult to find a slot in each other's calendars. And when I went there, it was just so beautiful. It's an area in Lisbon which is up and coming. It's got some heritage, protected buildings. Factories, and it was so impressive. It's right next to Alex factory, which is a very famous place now, and the Village Underground is right there too. And just to see this very artistic, place was. I mean, you saw the pictures, and being there is even more fantastic. And the artist who Mariana discovered actually has been working with, or two artists who are husband and wife or partners, since 2008 or 9, you said? Or sorry, I forget the date.
8 or 9.
Since you've been working with her on several other things, and she is actually a rising star, Angela Freire, also known as Cruella d'Enfer. She has an amazing name, and her husband is
Aka Corleone.
Yeah, so he's got his art name, which is Corleone.
He painted those ones.
So, it was great to see this piece of art, because actually I've been failing in my role and responsibility of giving these presents to all the speakers and panelists. So I will be going around, and please don't leave without this. This piece of art is done by Cruella d'Enfer. And this is a limited edition reprint, small version of the art she has done as artist in residence in Sagres. Every year we have a Portuguese artist in residence, up to 3 artists actually. And in Chiado we really worked hard on getting Portuguese artists to do specific pieces for us. So, I just thought it would be an opportune moment to present you with a small present for speaking today, definitely.
Thank you so much.
And, it was really wonderful to visit. And the thing to understand is co-working spaces, as Miriam, right? You said your name is, pointed out. It's actually something very new, and it's only in the last year that we've been hearing talk about it. So, the fact that you started a few years ahead of time, and I know how hard it is to convince people about the concept, and that definitely came through. You had persistence, energy, and you had a partner, definitely supportive. We all need that. We all need help, support, and someone who thinks about the business at the same time. I won't call you, Roman, up for a hug. I'm sure you've met people during the coffee sessions. But again, I love the fact that as husband and wife, you work on your family and your business together. And, I often joke, well, we just can't, get divorced because, we have so much in common, and, it's great. I love working together with my husband. I'm sure you do too, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. And so many people say to me, oh, I wouldn't be able to do that, because I wouldn't be able to stand him. But no, I love it. We get to spend so much time together. I don't know what you think. That's my question to you. How do you feel about working together with your husband?
We have moments. We have moments.
Don't we all, though?
Don't
but
we all?
overall, the positive.
But overall, it's very positive. He's very positive. Sometimes I go into very dark places when something goes wrong, and he's always there to cheer me up and to think positive. So thank you for that as well.
So I think that's the same. I think you have to have complementary skills if you're going to successfully set up a business with your a partner, because Roman and I are exactly the same. You know, when I'm down, he's pulling me up, and when he's down, you know, I'm pulling him up. So
Exactly.
I think that's, you know, partnership.
Yeah.
Right, any other questions? I'm sure people have had time. We have 3 more minutes. Yep, please. Sorry, the mic, you know, we can't hear you so well.
I'm just wondering, you've 3 sons and a very busy work project. How do you look so well rested? Because you look like somebody who's getting lots of sleep and like you just look amazing. So I'm wondering, how do you find the balance and find time for yourself? Because you look like you find time for yourself.
Oh, thank you. I don't know.
I'll peel off the mask now, and then you'll see the real her. No, she looks amazing.
I do massage every week, once a week. I do it. I have to say it. No, I have one. I have one. Every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. I have a personal trainer, but that's for my back, because it really hurts my back. And what else? And I live in Lisbon.
Bingo!
The sun shines, food is good. I have a big family, so I'm very busy also during the weekends with the family, with the friends. I have an amazing group of friends with whom I go out regularly. So I try to balance the time with the kids and also having fun. So I come from, before I had Village Underground, I used to organize a lot of parties, club nights. That's how I met Gustavo. He's a DJ. We met in a club, so that's my background. And in order to keep my head on work, I still go out a lot. I cannot complain. And no, I get tired sometimes, but I don't really feel about it, and I don't stress. I don't stress.
Tell us the secret.
I don't know. I don't know what's the stress. I think it's within me. I don't stress at all. So maybe that helps as well. And sorry, I think it's my mom's genetics, right? It's due to my mom. She's an amazing woman, physically really beautiful, and now I'll cry again.
Aww.
So yeah, this is it. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mariana. I'm
Thank
so happy and honored to have hosted you here today. And another hug. This is a hug. Thank you.